Welcome, guys. My name is Wamboko Kamodo, African Explorer Magazine, and today on our second podcast we have Black Panther, Mr. Ambrose Letoluai. Yeah, I'd like us to kind of understand his background and what he does. Welcome, Mr. Ambrose.
Thank you very much, Wambugu. As you know, guys, my name is Ambrose Letoluai from Northern Kenya. I'm a Samburu by birth, and I was born in a small village in Northern Kenya, in a village called Poro. And I moved to Laikipia when I was only 3 years, and I have been always staying with my grandmother all through. And what I've been doing is that I went to a primary school here called Ewaso Primary School, went to Doldol Boys. And in my primary school, that is where I started having a lot of passion through conservation because of the people that are coming to view wildlife in our country. And basically, what really moved me to start wildlife conservation is that we went to one day we went to a field trip in a conservancy called Oljogi, and this tour guide really empowered, like gave me a lot of inspiration to love about wildlife, because he had been telling us a lot of about ecology stuff, about wildlife, Thompson gazelles, and I've always asking him about why Thompson gazelle, why do we have to name this animal Thompson gazelle, and he told us a lot of story of how explorers came. One explorer came to Africa and started to learn about wildlife, and they named the Thompson gazelle after this this explorer called, I think his name is called Thompson, and that's how I became to have a lot of inspiration about wildlife. And I joined a club and in wildlife conservation in high school, whereby we went a lot to more national parks, and we studied about wildlife. And in that, after high school, my mother wanted me to be a teacher, but what happened is that I never wanted to be a teacher, but my mother really wanted me to be a teacher, because for us, I came from a very humble background, and my mother think that when I become a teacher, I can get job very fast and start getting some money to the family and making our family to be stable. But for me, I believe in a way that I want to be someone who want to have a passion to help, to help animals especially. So I went to KU, Kenyatta University, and what happened is that when I went to KU, I applied to study teaching, and the guy gave me a list. I still have that in my office, the letter that I got from KU, and I sent to my mother, and I told the guy that I sent that letter, tell my mom that I am going to study teaching. So I started Googling about where to study. I wanted to study anything about natural resource, wildlife conservation, and I got myself heading to Kenya Wildlife Service Training Institute in Naivasha to study wildlife conservation and science. And after that, that is how my career became to become a conservation person, to study about wildlife. And what happened is that when I went to Kenya Wildlife Service Training Institute, we had a lot of passion to know about birds, to know about trees, to know about ecosystem. And that really helped me a lot. It really built my career, because every weekend we go to bird watching, we go for tree identification, and because I got a scholarship from one of the conservancies that we live here called Isaba Conservancy, I went there. And when one day when I was in internship, the Isaba CEO introduced me to this amazing scientist from abroad, San Diego Zoo, and they want a local person to lead a project, to lead this research, to lead a research that is coming to base in Lusaba Conservancy. These guys wanted to study about cats or big carnivores, and it is fascinating to start studying about carnivores, because I also come from a local community that keep livestock, especially keeping livestock, and carnivores do prey or kill them for for predation, and there is a lot of human carnivore conflicts. I think for me, it was one. It is the beginning. It was the beginning of the work that I wanted to solve a problem between my community and the carnivores. So we started a project called Wifati Washui. Wifati Washui means leopard conservation, and leopard conservation is one of the first ever leopard study that has ever happened in Kenya, because leopards are very elusive, they are very shy. No one like to study them, because going to find them in the field, you can't just see them anywhere. Like, you have to have that kind of a lot of patience to study them. And we have been using some camera traps to study them. What happened is that, again, we still engage ourselves with the local community, the local communities that keep this livestock, and we have been asking them, what conflicts, what do you guys do, what problem, which carnivore is bringing this problem? And people really blame leopards a lot, and it really fascinated me to learn about why leopards people, it motivated me and my team to move forward and study leopards more. We went from one location to another to know from all communities, and we started a project called Boma Study. A Boma study is whereby we have camera traps surrounding a certain boma with the permission from local people. In Samburu or Masai, pictures are not easy to take, but convincing a local person that I'm conducting a research here, it gives us that we won a lot of trust from the local community. And in my side, I thought that I played that critical role because I'm coming from this local community. People really trust in me. And we went ahead and we put that study, and we learned that so many carnivores are disturbing the local people. And what happened is that we went ahead and then put a lot of support to the local people, because we provided them with what they really need. Because people are telling me that we need wires, we need lights, predator light to deter carnivores away. And in that, we went ahead with a team from this zoo called San Diego Zoo, with my team that we are in the field, with Loisaba Conservancy, that place that we are working, and Impala Research Center. We went ahead and partnered together and tried to provide these measures like wires and lights, and we put them into this bombers, and the people really appreciated it. People say that the predation went down, like it was not that before when we went there. So my working with local community came to be something that is like, even though we study ecology about leopards and other carnivores, working with local community became to be one of my priority, because I thought that if you are going to work with local community, they are the one that are here in this landscape, whereby wildlife are roaming freely. These carnivores are coming, because before, leopards are being poisoned because of retaliation. For example, a leopard can go to a boma of one of the musees and then kill 100,000 of goats, and the people are very hungry. They can able to poison those goats, and a lot of so many other species die because of that. For example, vultures, hyenas, and all those animals that are scavenging, they like scavenging, and that kind of circle, they die. And because of that, our intervention coming to local community, it really helped, and people are now starting to like about wildlife. In our process, I thought of starting, because when I was doing a survey back to 2017, the most people that I met in bomas are women, especially those women. And you know that women in Samburus, they have not got opportunity to go formal education, to go to school. Illiteracy was still high, and there is no other job a woman can able to do in these communities that we work, especially in Samburu and even some Maasai. So I asked them, what do you guys think that we can do and stuff like that? And people are telling me that, you are leopards. They are now blaming me. Your leopards are killing our goats, and we are only depending with this. We only depend with this, and the leopards and the hyenas are coming to kill our goats and stuff like that. And what happened is, I thought to women, and I was talking to them, and I told them, "What about the men? Where the men? A few of them are complaining, even though they're complaining. Most of them they don't even want to talk with me. But women are very open to talk with me. And I told them, why don't you guys start something like other things?" And they told, we have beads of which tourists come to Kenya and they buy these beads. That is another alternative way of us doing things. We can give you, like 20 of them can bring me, a pile of their beads, and they want me to take to the conservancies that I work because they believe that tourists are coming to those conservancies. And I told them that we need to do something that is sustainable because tourism is falling, and it is true because when it started 2018, this project for called Shui Mamas, COVID was not there. And it is the truth that when things like calamities like this disease called COVID and others can really bring tourism down, and people who are depending on tourism, we have so many young people who are being employed in these conservancies. Right now, they're at home because of COVID, because of other issues like keto infection in the conservancies or stuff like that. So tourism is very sensitive kind of sector, whereby it can, if it is affect a country, it still also affect the local people that are bordering this conservation area, national parks, and local community conservancies. So I told them that we need to have something that we have to do, and we started a group called Shui Mamas. The reason why we started Shui Mamas project for women, I want women to see that they can benefit through conservation of specific species. For example, I started leopard, and when we started a group called group of women, we named them Chui Mamas. And every person that is coming to visit me in Laikipia and to see me as Ambrose, I will take my friends to see women. And I told them that, you see, I work for leopards, but friends that are coming to see leopards, because people are interested with animal like leopard, and they want this animal to be saved. But we have also to talk to the people to tell them, we need you guys to see that there is a particular community that is here needs support, and these animals roam freely with them. So I take these people to see these women, and the women feel like, yeah, we are getting this benefit through this. And we started a group called Chui Mamas, and Chui Mamas grew to be a group of 60 women it became a group of uh, a group of a very big group that is now holding like 20 women, 20 group women, like 20 group, an umbrella of so many group, because so many women wanted to be part of Shui Mamas. So that is how the Shui Mamas we started, and we are now having a project that is trying to empower so many group of other women around the communities that we are working.
So I came to know you via Twitter initially because I saw a photo of a black leopard and I was very interested. Um, I've had we've actually in Kenya we've had histories of black leopards, Mount Kenya, Aberdare ranges, and we only used to see them on BBC. If you know David Attenborough,
Yeah.
the presenter, that's when I saw the black leopard. And then when I heard it was a fellow local who had set up the camera trap, I became very interested and I wanted to meet this guy. So what kind of research were you guys running, and what impact did it bring to to you and the kind of research you guys are doing, that you saw like a black leopard, and
So so
what went on and
so
how
what
did it
happened is
come to
that
be? Yeah.
here in Laikipia, we are conducting a research to understand the population status of African leopards. They are very shy, they are very elusive. You can't just see them anywhere in the world very easily, even though they are so much vulnerable. And the IUCN have just categorized them to be vulnerable, even though other carnivores like lion, they are so much threatened, their population is threatening. And it's just because of the study the scientists and researchers are doing in the field to provide the information and stuff like that. and little is being known about leopards. So what happened is that we are conducting a research in this landscape in Laikipia, particularly in Impala Research Center and the Loisaba Conservancy, just to understand how many leopards we have, what the threat do they face. Even though they are facing so many threats, especially the habitat loss and the human population pressure, leopards are less known by so many people. And even though fact information about them, I think we are a few people that are studying leopard behavior to provide and can able to provide a strategic plan to the authorities, especially Kenya Wildlife Service, so that they can able to know how many we have in particular and what threat they face. Okay, one of the threats that are facing is this human carnivore conflicts that is having human carnivore conflicts that is also because leopards are known to prey the hardest goats and the sheep because of that they are facing that threat and even though there is a lot of complaints from the local people that the KWS need to come and take this leopard and translocation have been done. It should be done to take this animal from one location to another. For us, we are interested to know who are these leopards, how do they related to each other, and how do they coming from these national parks or these private conservancies that are we have less human activities. How do they related and how do they move from one location to go and kill one person goat? What happened is that when we did that, we wanted to know that the population status and we understand the ecology, but still we want also to know to work with local community. So in ecology part, when we are aiming now to know the population, I went to community to do these interviews, and I was trying to show people pictures. Which carnivore is bringing problem? Is leopard? Is hyena? And people are blaming leopards a lot. And through the story that we are talking with the elders and the interaction that I was given information that there is one elder that saw black leopard in Lisaba. And I have heard that there is black leopard in this, Aberdare, Kirisia Forest, but in Laikipia is a Semi Arid area. It's very hot, and I tried to see that black leopard can be found in forests like Aberdare and Mount Kenya because it's very dense and it's very cool, and because of their skin, and I never understand that they can do very well in Laikipia. To be very honest with you, black leopards, it's just a recessive gene that is being carried from one individual to another. And I think it is also fact that one of the evidence that is telling us, so it is once open longer time ago, Aberdare, forest is coming all the way to Laikipia, attaching Kirisia forest, long time ago. And I think the genes have been left here, and that is why these genes are now again keeping on coming. And I think that is why we have a very good number of black leopard in Laikipia. So when local people told me this, I went ahead and they tried to learn about leopard, and people never believed, so many people never believed that there's a black leopard found in Laikipia, including even the people that I work with, like my boss was never believed, because for him, he knows that black leopards or black panthers, they are found mostly in Asia. They are only found in Asia. And my boss, the problem with my boss that he don't even believe, he is a scientist and he believes things that are being published. He believes things that are being published that we need to know that what animals, scientifically, how many, you have to review papers and try to learn that, yes, someone have just confirmed that we have black. So that is how the whole story started. He never believed that. And when we went ahead and put camera traps and we found black leopard, he said, oh my God, this is interesting. We never know that the black leopard was here. And the story started breaking, and we have this British photographer who came just after he had the stories that there's a black leopard. I have already by that time asked so many clips of black leopard in my camera traps. And when he had, so many people asking me, isn't it true that we had that there's a black leopard there? And I was telling people, yes, this is the clip, but I'm not going to share this clip until we gather more information. And I got so many people interested to get to know about the black leopard. Some photographers want to come and take pictures of the black leopard. And I told them it was not easy to get this guy during the day or stuff like that. Until 2019, January, the guy came. And when he came through a friend of mine who was also who is also doing a tourism sector here, and he tried to go driving and he never saw the black leopard, and he heard that we are getting them in camera traps, and he wants now to set his camera traps. I think the guy is so much resourceful in a way that he is also a founder of one of the very high company called Camera Traption, whereby you can able to put a camera, the normal camera, and it can trigger and take very nice picture. So they came to me, he approached me, we started talking, and we put those camera traps in the field. But what happened is after the break, now the guy came for 2 weeks, and he got, within that week, he got one image, two image, and after that, we wanted now to publish our paper. I've been working here since 2016, and I got the black leopard 2018, 2000, all of 2019, and I have this very many images. And the guy came and he got this one single image within 2 weeks, and through the help that I was giving him, with also the help with the other rangers, and the Western media, after the he shared after he shared in his own blog and the social media about the fount of the black leopard, the Western media was crazy, and they are really focusing at him, and they are saying that British photographer published the best picture in the world, 100 years, this all scenario. And I was keeping quiet. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it has got a very high kind of, if I can able to say this, a very high kind of attraction all over the world. Like, according to the attention that black leopard story got, it was crazy. 1 billion people have already reached out, kind like
interacted with the media,
with about the black leopard.
Yeah.
But you see, only only I think 20% of the people knows that where it all started, and everything is focusing with the guy and stuff like that. And I was not even blaming him a lot. I was also blaming the media, because they are not getting the facts of how that really went into. But he also messed in the beginning of how we can do that in the good approach, until recently published a book about black leopard. I've been living here millions years, and I could have not even published a book. Someone came 2 weeks and you already had a book. It was crazy, man. And
it is called access to resources.
Yeah. So now that book is being sold somewhere, and the local community, they're here. We are here with the black leopard. That single black leopard, we have now like 10 individuals already in the landscape. We have already confirmed to have them here. But scientifically, I've already confirmed that black leopard are found in Laikipia with the support from this great team of ours.
So in terms of is it one family? Is it a family of black leopards, or they are different like families? Is the gene popping up in different families, or what would you say?
So what happened is that black leopards, they are, as I told you in the beginning, is that they are carrying one genes from one another. Right now, we are conducting a research to know how did they related to, through the collection of hair, and we are going to know how are they related. Isn't it the same family, or isn't it just one male have just came and interacted with all female across this Laikipia plateau, and that gene have spread that way? So we are yet to confirm that, because our research is ongoing.
Let's talk about like the impact and that it has had on the community. What kind of, in terms of the research, and also the ongoing research and also the discovery of black leopards? What kind of impact has it brought to the conservancies and also the local communities?
So the impact that has just brought, it has brought a very big attention as country. So many people are coming to Kenya to see black leopard. And as when I was studying about wildlife conservation, we have this what we call tourism routes, like circuit. People are going to
The
northern circuit,
northern circuit, southern circuit, yeah, I've done.
and the Masai Mara has been famous for its cat and how it is very much beautiful, and the migration of this wildebeest. But Laikipia is now a circuit that is now known to be amazing, like one of the spectacular kind of a circuit that people are traveling to come, and by good luck they might be able to see black leopard. Like 1 month ago, we have this family that have never came to Africa, and they came to Lusaba in a way that they are just coming to visit Africa, and they are telling this amazing story that they just came first day, and they saw that black leopard that day. So you see how amazing it is. So people are coming here to view black leopard and other wildlife. As communities that are living here in local communities, they have been always benefiting through wildlife conservation, and right now this group, like we are calling Chui Mamas, and also one of the group, again, organization that I started called Wildlife Kids. People are coming, and after they came, they want to see this organization, they visit and stuff like that, and they are helping that in that way. So that impact, it is, I can say that local people the benefit is continuous. People are still coming, and they see animals, they visit the community and pay the conservation fee entry, and people are benefiting that way. And like conservancies like Osaba, they have been helping local people even before black leopard, but I think now through so many, the support is going to grow when more geese visit their facilities and they can able to give more support. So that's how I can able to describe that impact.
I also need to understand, like, cause of this ongoing, like, attention, and also are the locals seeing the importance of conservation? Like, how are the locals taking it? Like, are you going to increase the areas you guys are conserving?
So
Like, how what's going on ground?
you see now for the leopards, black leopard, are the people that understand that as we started our conversation, black leopard have known to be found here many years ago when most of us are not even born. And some elders, they have started to know that there is importance of this animal, and so many people are now even negotiating with this conservancies model way of community conservancies to expand their areas of conservation areas, and having this approaches of say that we need to have this area to be core area for our animals to graze or stuff like that. There is that kind of talks that are ongoing, because people are saying that if people are coming to see black leopard here in a conservancy that is nearby, why don't I think we have black leopard. I get so many stories, like millions of stories people are telling me that I saw black leopard yesterday, I saw black leopard here, I saw this, and through pictorial evidence, we can now confirm that way. And basically, we have already confirmed that we have black leopard in these neighboring conservancies, communities that are bordering also these private conservancies that are here.
So a lot of guys only know KWS, Kenya Wildlife Service. Like, how do you guys work with government? Because most of the money that comes is from like NGOs, etc. How do you coordinate with the government to make sure that the work you are doing is also, you are informing the government, and also the government is aware of whatever is being discovered? How do you coordinate between you and government?
So what happened is that our research with anyone that is working in Kenya, wherever you are a local person or wherever local scientist or researcher, you must seek permit from organizations like KWS to give you a go ahead and do the research. And it is very important to have other external scientists who KWS do have their own scientists that are conducting research internally, but it is very important to have those external kind of NGOs or researchers or scientists coming in to conduct research, you know, outside the KWS. Our initiative is we are being given a permit by NECOSTI and again KWS to conduct this research in this particular location that we are working. And KWS really did very amazing thing to have a Carnivore conference every year, whereby we go to Nairobi and present our work that we have been doing over the years. And in that, they can able to borrow some ideas from us, and then you can have what you call management plans, management plan of species. For example, management plan of giraffes, strategic management plan of leopards, and in that we can inform them that way, and that is how we are working also with KWS as partners. And there is nothing that we are doing without their knowledge, because they are the authority. We are just working to help the authority to give them this kind of strategy. For example, the issue of compensation. KWS is the only mandated institution to compensate the local people if there is a goat or stuff like that. And they have their own strategy to do that. So for us, we only help local people by formulating this kind of suggestion and give to KWS, and they can able to say that there is a need somewhere. So that is how we are also working with the government institution or status called like KWS and others.
Yeah, and two questions, very important questions. I need to understand, like, help people understand about animal corridors, what they are, wildlife corridors, and why they are important. And also, I'd like to know, like, are the locals understanding, like the young people, are they growing up, saying when we were growing up, everybody wanted to be a doctor, an engineer, an astronaut. Like, are the young people growing up, like, being taught, are there any education going on ground to familiarize the local young people, secondary schools, colleges, primary schools, about why conservation is important and why it can be taken as a career? So let's start with the corridor first.
Yeah, so the wildlife corridors are very important, and the wildlife in particular, they are specifically, we have elephants, we have other herbivores, and I can tell you that for example, elephants, they use one corridor to move from one location to another, and because of this human population growth, we have a lot of people settling in these corridors. And what so many people or so many other organizations are doing, like African Wildlife Foundation, like Keep Your Wildlife Forum, these conservancies that we have, they are coming together to create a strategy to identify those corridors and help them to make sure that people are not coming into contact. And because of this corridor settlement with the people, it is creating a lot of conflicts. That's obvious. For example, elephants are coming from. When an elephant is coming from Baringo, for example, and get that someone have already settled in his own kind of a place that it used to move freely, it is a big problem. It's really a very big problem, and it needs a kind of a huge collaboration, both through NGOs and the organization like KWS to come together and strategize and give awareness to people to understand about wildlife conservation. A pastoralist or a person like you and me who don't know about wildlife conservation, you can just say that there is no problem of me settling here. Why isn't there a big problem? So through education, we need to educate people about that. And in that, about educating people about wildlife conservation, it is a need, not only in my community, but in every community that we live, in every neighborhood, be it in Nairobi. We need to have a community awareness, and we need to have people that are having career. If you are a doctor, try to give people awareness about what basically have you studied before. For example, me, I studied wildlife conservation and now environmental science, and I want people to understand about nature. And it is my obligation and duty to let my passion drive me to educate others to know that. So in Laikipia, particularly, when I started going to community and study about wildlife conservation and see people about leopard, I understood that so many people don't know what is leopard, what is a hyena, what is elephant. Some people, and they are still living in this same landscape that elephants are roaming freely with them, and some of them have never seen. So we started an initiative to make sure that we educate children so that a kid can grow and know that when I'm in this level, I know that I want to be a doctor, I want to be, a scientist or stuff like that. And we started to have them visit these national parks, like bring them to Lusaba Conservancy, Impala Research Center, and they learn about that. And basically for me, I saw there is a very big need, because this is just one day event in 1 month. 1 month. So I say that I need to do something. As a wildlife photographer, I have been wanting to use my pictures for children to learn about wildlife conservation and to see who is elephant, what is elephant, how do they eat, how do they stay, and how do they live in the ecosystem. I wanted to educate people about that. And after a few times, and I saw that it is not good for me to have these pictures, I started a center called Wildlife Resource Center. I built a small room that is only can accommodate up to 20 children, but that was not my mission at the beginning. It was just a studio whereby I can put computers inside, print pictures, and go to the local community once a month or twice a year to educate people about conservation and the pictures and stuff like that. And then, after a few times, I thought that we should have a club. And we started a club called Wildlife Kids in School. And every time I go to school, it was required for we have what to call clubs days in school, and kids can continue educating. And you see now, when we give you give a teacher who does not have a knowledge about wildlife conservation to conduct or to lead that one, it is not easy. This is a teacher that studied only science and mathematics, and that is his focus. During the club's meetings, he can go there and stay there, and he can ask kids to continue collecting rubbish and burn them, and that is the end of the activity. And I thought that we should have a resource center, and a resource center. COVID have did bad things and sometimes also good, because when I came there, these ideas came in, and I was staying at home, and we have a very nearby school that is here, and I because I started the Wildlife Kids, I will go and visit them every time and try to educate them about that. I thought of an idea of having a resource center of all the wildlife photographers. If you are a wildlife photographer, you might have wrote a book, you might have a very good picture. Please bring them to me, donate them. Let those books come. If you have
how do they contact you? Because we usually speak on Twitter, but not everybody is on Twitter. So how do you and if you really like to help what Ambrose is actually doing, how do people get in touch with you? Do you have a website? The number. We'll also put your numbers here so that people can actually contact you directly. Where do people donate?
I do. Basically, this project I've just started recently. After now, I created that. I created the chef, and this thing you see, when I posted just one day in Facebook and I said that, I'm going to start a Wildlife Kids Resource Center, and this resource center will be having kids coming every Saturday. Every Saturday, the kids will come here, and when the school is closed, these kids will come here when school is closed twice, Tuesday and the Saturday. And this resource center that I created in a way that you donate a book, you donate a laptop, you donate whatever, like a binocular, you donate anything that is nature, that is we know that is going to help the kids. So I got so many friends, coming and brought so many books. Like, I got people from National Geographic donating books like this one. I got Nature Kenya bring books like this one, magazine like Kenya Birding, like, this is a kind of a magazine whereby you can have birds like this and kids can just come and learn about that. We have some very endemic birds that people don't know that they are not even found in another part of Kenya. And if they keep on coming and reading, we have like Comba magazine like this one from Wildlife Clubs of Kenya. And we have a lot of great stories about people traveling, explorers going from one place to another who are local. And most of them donated those, and we still have so many of them, partnering with clubs like Wildlife Warriors Club that is being run by the Wildlife Direct. And we got those people, and when I saw it is really attracting attention from the people, we created this like a library, and still in this local community, most of the people that are living here, when the school closed, kids cannot get place to go and take their studies, and we offered them to come and they study here, and they can, even though those are high school and the university kids or whatever that are coming to study, they still learn nature and they can be connected from that. But every Saturday we have kids coming. I go with them. Right now, what we are trying to find out is that, this center I created, but it is going to give opportunity to those people that study wildlife conservation. As you understand, so many people go to college, study about a specific course, particularly, for example, wildlife conservation. And a person really passed very well. He has very nice grade, very nice knowledge. And sometimes people lack internship. Even so many people are now roaming, like you have already done with your college and you don't have anywhere to go. So I thought that if, for example, we have this center, opportunity is going to be created here. Someone can just come here, volunteer to teach the kids, maybe 2 months, 3 months, and through here,
And then they get that experience too. Yeah.
they get that experience, and they have already also given back to community. And that is what I started when I was thinking about this center, and we have now Wildlife Kids Resource Center. Wildlife Kids Resource Center is a center that we created to nurture the pastoralist kids. We have in my community, we have ceremonies like circumcision of boys, and during this ceremonies, so many boys kill birds, so many of them, like so many of them. It is a culture require them when they are still sick, they can go and kill birds. Some of them kill very, very, very endangered species of birds, and they don't know. So what about if now I start this and bring these young boys, educate them about this? They can be ambassadors of this species, and they can speak to their fathers to say that, no, we are not required to kill this species. This species is endangered. Why do you guys want us to shoot a bird and kill a bird that is, we only have 25 species of them? So in that, they can start coming in, and we also offer these kids opportunity to have a kind of video film, and they watch a lot of wildlife films. If, for example, you are a filmmaker and you have already created one to educate people about awareness, you can donate us those clips, and you don't have to donate money. It is not must to donate money.
Yeah, you remind me of like how the Maasai in the southern part of Kenya used to kill lions when they were turning out to be morans. But
Yeah,
nowadays they become protectors of the lion. So when they mature from being a boy to a moran, instead of going to kill a lion, they are attached to like an organization who helps in terms of wild carnivore, conservation. That's a very good idea, and I didn't know that samburus kill birds when
yeah.
they are.
Please
Yeah.
Google. I'll also send you so many other clips. For example, if you go to one of the we gather when Samburus are having this ceremony, Samburus and Rendiles, when they have this ceremony, whereby we can, I know it will be a high bro. Like some people will learn this for the first time. That when we have these ceremonies that are very beautiful, we are not telling our people to abandon the culture, but we want to educate our people that climate change is real and it has caused disappearance or extinction of so many species that are very beautiful. If you go to the forest, you have these beautiful turacos, that are found in this big forest. But nowadays we don't have that voice. Maybe something had happened to them and they are not found there. I'm a carnivore biologist, but I also value the extinction of this beautiful other natural. Every day you wake up in the morning, you hear the voice of every bird. But what about, for example, we continue killing, encouraging our cultures, even though our culture allows us to do that, and because of cultural, if you want to graduate to become a moran, you have to kill so many birds and there is a ceremony whereby we have these boys, when they're going to graduate to be warriors, they give their mothers those birds and they will put the neck. I have a very great idea of these kids participating in our Wildlife Kids Resource Center, whereby when they are circumcised, we are going to create these plastic birds, and we are going to tell your mother to put this in your neck other than this dead bird.
Yeah,
So
I also like that. Maybe you can also have like when they are graduating,
yeah,
maybe they can have something like you can have a bird resource center where maybe for every boy who graduates, they release a bird or something. That would be
of
very nice.
course, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that will be good. And you see, we have so many of them, and it's better that we have these organizations like like Bird Sprays of Kenya that are doing rescue centers. There is one that is being started by this lady called Sarah Higgins in Fasha, and it fascinates me to see birds being rescued all over Kenya. Some kids kill birds. Someone is capturing a bird and do something like that. We have lady by the name Nema that I also helped her to go to school. She fought the boys to tell them that don't kill this owl. And because we have a lot of perception from our African background that,
Every African tribe don't like the old man.
so
Even ours, yeah. Even
yeah, people,
us from central Kenya, whenever you see the owl is bad omen. But for
yeah,
me,
yeah,
I
and
think, yeah, for
it,
me, I
it was
grew
a
up,
bad,
yeah,
it was a bad omen for us as a perception,
yeah,
but for Neema, the
mm,
little girl that I think I'll share my website and you learn this about that story of that little girl. You will know that you know it was a very big luck for her. She got a scholarship to go to school, and right now she never gone to school, and right now she's in school. She saved that, but it gave her a hope. It gave her a luck. Right now she's in school. So
interesting that we were talking about carnivores, now you're talking about bats.
yeah, it is coming that way, because one thing that is the reason why I started the Wildlife Kids Resource Center. I started this not because of carnivores specifically, but saving wildlife and educate kids about wildlife conservation. And few people understand birds are part of wildlife. Bird is part of wildlife. Trees are part of wildlife, and we need people to learn about that. Even though we are talking about carnivores, there is no ecosystem that is going to be sustainable without even a single species. If you don't have birds, we don't have leopards. And I can
That's
tell
true.
you, yeah, we don't have leopards. because
even butterflies are important, because I've again, and you'll meet Iboma one of these day. This guy by the name of Iboma, the Kakamega. He just stays next to Kakamega Forest, and he's very passionate about birds and also very passionate about butterflies and reptiles. So maybe one of these days we'll have a meeting of same minded people, just to
yeah.
discuss the future of this beautiful country of ours. Now, as we wrap up, why carnivores? Why are they important? And this is the last question. And then probably you can also give, as you wrap up, you can also give information like your contact information, and also why how people can get in touch with you.
So carnivores are very important. Carnivore conservation is very important. It's really very important in our country as Kenya. Carnivores are a big target for tourists. Even a tourist that is coming to Kenya, their trip is not complete without finding any carnivore, be it leopard, be it lion, be it hyena, or whatever thing. Some of them are so much uh, kind of, they have the target of they want to see this carnivore. So carnivore conservation is very important in tourism, and through tourism, our country get a lot of income. Carnivore conservation is also very important in a way that we need to have more carnivores in our ecosystem, because carnivores do help us balance our ecosystem. If you have so many imbalances, these are the carnivores that are going to make that is balanced. If you have so many of them, we might able to have an ecosystem that is degraded. We might able to have ecosystem that is not at all healthy. For example, some people hate hyenas, and it's very
They don't
fascinating.
understand that the hyenas they clean up the
Environment, they're very important. If you don't have, for example, we have millions of we have a disease that is coming and weep, for example, so many herbivores. Hyenas are they are the doctor of that environment. They clean the environment and make sure that we have a very, very, very clean environment, and the ecosystem become very well. So for carnivores, particularly in pastoralist communities, people do hate them because of conflicts that they go through. But again, they don't understand that a kid in pastoral communities can get support through people that are coming to see carnivores and get scholarship. So it's very important to do carnivore conservation and still educate people that carnivore conservation is important in a way that we need to have both our livestock and the carnivores roam in this landscape and roam it very freely because it is very healthy.
So how do people get in touch with you?
So if there's anyone who want to learn more about our work, especially my work, the Ambrose Letoluai, you can just reach me through email, ambroseletoluai@gmail.com, or my number 0748824547. I repeat, 0748824547. Or again, you can reach out to me through my social media handles, Facebook, Letoluai Ambrose, Twitter, at Warrior Ambrose. That is where you're going to get me, or you can go to Google about Black Panther. That is how people call me mostly. And when I was creating about Twitter, that is how I created about that, because people are so much interested. They started calling me name, and it's good to respect what people want to hear from that. So you can reach out to me through that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what Ambrose is actually doing, I'll also make sure we have his contact attached. It's been a pleasure, Ambrose. Thank you very much. We've been planning this for 3 weeks, I think for a month now, but finally it's done. And again, I'm really looking forward to coming to Laikipia. Yeah?
Please. You're welcome, and thank you very much for reaching out and try to understand the work that we are doing. You see, through this connection, we might get someone who can able to create impact, and they try to help. For example, reaching out to help women, reaching out to help kids in conservation, and even reaching out and they, help out in this leopard conservation through these conservancies. You can go to Saba, help them, and through helping the one thing from another, then you are going to help that animal conservation. So that is how you can be able to contribute to work directly with people that are working in the field, and that is very important.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week with a new African Nerds. So our show is called African Nerds. African Nerds means people who like Africans who are actually doing awesome things, like scientists, researchers, all that kind of stuff. Because we only see superstars nowadays, but we don't
Yeah,
see the guys who are on ground, who are
of
actually
course.
doing awesome things. So thank you. Goodbye.